Welcome everyone to this week's Wright Virtual Visit. This is Heidi Ruley, Executive Director of the Unity Temple Restoration Foundation in Oak Park, Illinois, and part of the leadership group for this program. We are so excited to go live today to both the Weltzheimer Johnson House and the Frank Lloyd Wright House in Ebsworth Park, the Kraus House. If you have questions during the broadcast, please type them in anytime on the Facebook page you're watching this on, and we'll ask as many as possible during the event. Now I'm going to turn it over to Catherine and Fred. Take it away.
Welcome everyone to Kirkwood, Missouri on a beautiful fall day. It's just wondrous. And what a amazing theme. Actually, there's no more fitting theme than geometry and design to tour this remarkable property. So let's take a look. We know that Frank Lloyd Wright was inspired by nature and he had a profound respect for it. He thought that a house should never sit on a hill, but rather belong to it. So the siting of the Kraus House on the rise of a slope on the hill subscribes to that philosophy. But you can't dwell in the natural beauty too long without running into some pretty unusual geometry. I'm going to let you just take a look at the house from, we're on the eastern side, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the design because it's truly one of a kind. Wright designed the house based on the module of an equilateral parallelogram with 60 and 100-degree angles measuring 4 foot on each side. So conceptually, the house is 2 overlapping parallelograms. Nestled in a hill right here is the 90-degree angle of the motor court wall. And because Wright based the underlying geometry of the house on a parallelogram, the exterior spaces and the interior spaces, which we'll see soon, are very open and flow easily from one area to the next. As we make our way into the motor court, of course, Mr. Wright thought that with the advent of the car, there was no need for garages. So this not only was an aesthetically pleasing open exterior space, we know the Krauses, the original owners, enjoyed it quite a bit. So you'll see the grid lines of the dominant shape of the parallelogram. And you'll see a repetition of the shapes and angles that you'll see throughout the house. The triangle lights, the parallelogram grate. And this is always truly a signature element of the exterior of the house, which is this angled wall. So you might think that to achieve that angle, you'd have to cut bricks into that shape. But in actuality, there was a special mold made. Ruth Kraus was not deterred when she couldn't find a brick this shape. So she found a sort of retired mold and convinced the brick manufacturer to resurrect it for the bricks for this house. Let's take a look at an image from our book that shows the layout of this house. We'll have another chance to look at the plan for this house when we're inside. But I think that you can see how the house was based on essentially 2 overlapping parallelograms. So before we get too dizzy looking at all these parallelograms and corresponding shapes, I am going to pass it back or pass it to Fred to talk a little bit about another Wright design property. Take it away, Fred.
Well, welcome to Oberlin, Ohio, and welcome to the Weltzheimer Johnson House. I will sort of begin by apologizing for my mask. We are maintaining Oberlin College COVID priority, and I need to be masked. I'm not going to be able to go in the house, but I am ably assisted by the director of, or the curator of education at the Eleanor Memorial Art Museum and her assistant. So it's Jill Greenwood and Liz Yearsley. So we're hoping for the best, but now we don't have a lovely hill. We're flat Ohio farmland. And when the Weltzheimers took on the property, it was cornfield. Wright then takes what was basically a large, narrow rectangle, pushes the house to the back of the property pretty much, nestles it really under an existing grove of beech and hickory trees, but then throws the house on the angle, on the diagonal. One, to take advantage of the solar shading and the solar gain. In the winter, I'd be directly in sun, and in the summer, if I step back, I'm going to be in the shade, and that will carry on into the interior. We have let's. Oh yeah. We talked about the angles as being the primary element at Kraus. We have our balls, which are the eave decoration here, which really add a great playfulness to the overall design. It's particular to Wright in this. I have not found another building where that really occurs. What I enjoy though is I think we're on the cusp of the early, very spare early Usonians and the more elaborate ones that were to follow after in the early 40s, the late 40s. We have our own little picture over here of a picture of the plot plan. When the Weltzheimers had asked Wright to design a house for them, they waited and finally got in the car, drove up to Taliesin, and came back with this plot plan. So it's an early sketch. It's the early vision of Wright's view for the property. So you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see a grove of fruit trees on the same diagonal that the house is. In the center of the drawing is an area he calls play space, which is something I don't think he's ever done in any other house. And then when we get to the house itself, you see he defines really an exterior room with plantings and ultimately a brick barbecue. A barbecue, I don't know if it was, I assume it was going to be brick, which really defines an exterior room. So what Wright has done on what is very much a plain piece of property is give us some very geometric shapes in here, the circles and the triangles. He carries that out with your good pattern is the parallelogram. We're just a 2x4 grid of incised into the concrete. What I love about this is it takes the exterior and moves it onto the interior. And we are seeing really the remnants of, because it's getting later in the day, of another geometric element that Wright introduces. It's the cantilever, which allows the sun to show those wonderful balls on the edge, the opening for the openings in the roof, which really begin to provide light to go in the interior. And we're going to then go back to you, Catherine. We're going to go on inside, so you're going to go on inside.
Sounds great. Okay, you've been looking at the cantilevered roof over the terrace that is connected to the studio that was built for Russell Kraus, the original owner, who is an artist. So let's take a peek inside. I love this room, and so do our guests. It's literally a display of all the geometric shapes that inform this house. So we saw the terrace from the outside. Let's take a look at it from the inside. Russell Kraus described all the things he wanted, including a terrace. And you can see amazing angles and how the angles created dynamic space, quite inspirational and motivating, I would imagine, for a creative like Russell. Russell made the light table and the other furniture in this room. He created it compatible with the geometry of the house. The students who come to this house love the sound of that phone ringing. And you can't be in this room without taking a look with great wonder at the skylight, which again brings in all the light needed for an artist to do his work, and also shows us the parallelogram, triangles, hexagons. And because of all the sharp angles, you can see how the mitered window presents a dramatic connection, and it actually allows the vibrancy of the exterior environment to be visible on the inside. So we are going to quickly walk through the open concept kitchen, or the workroom, as Mr. Wright referred to it. Noticing the geometry in the skylight, and we have another very dramatically angled window that provides just a beautiful look into the persimmon grove. Not how we would describe an open concept kitchen today, but you can imagine how truly innovative it was and continues just to be remarkable in so many ways. The ceiling boards are one of the many things that shows the delicacy of the design. Okay, I think that we now are ready to turn it back to you, Fred.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We're now going on the inside, and as we progress from the exterior to the outside, you're going to see where the wall that defines the edge of the terrace continues on into our main room, with the back of the cushions on the upholstered built-in bench. We pick it up also in the shelf that is common with our workroom, our workspace, I'm sorry. Again, the attempt at the open concept in a 1940s house, I think, is really revolutionary for Wright at the time. Then the line will continue and finally end up as the underline of the mantle on the fireplace wall, that really sculptural fireplace wall. The grid pattern, our 2x4 rectangles, have continued on into this room. I should mention the other element that defines our workspace is the vertical pierced brick screen that is sort of separates the living room from that the room. I think it's an early attempt by Wright to recognize the changing composition of the American family and how the different functions within the family were, that the room was no longer a service space. It was now part of the overall community space of the room. We also have, I think, a very interesting ceiling, and Wright very deftly and very subtly begins to tell us where our eye needs to go, and he will direct it to the corner right by where the terrace and the wall was, to sort of disguise or make you question where the size of the room, where the end of the room is, and then again, how big is the overall actual space itself. It's a way of taking down the wall between the interior and the exterior. In this space, we do have some original pieces of furniture, of which is a recent addition by Gretchen Weltzheimer Holden, the round table. When the Weltzheimers had lived in the house about 5 years, they wrote to Wright and said, "We want to finish your design for the house." And he sent them 3 different drawings. One was the table. So this is a original table that recently came into our collection. The second is a chair, and the chair is common to Usonian houses and Wright's designs at this point in the time. In fact, the chair very similar to this is in Wright's office in Wisconsin. We had this reconstructed. The fabric is totally apocryphal. There was no record of what the fabric would have been. And the third element was a dining chair, which is very similar to the Kraus dining room chair. Although our chair has the X back, but instead of that little the rectangular back on it, we would have had an upholstered round back on it. That was never built. And I think that completes our tour of our interior space. We're going to hand it back to you, Catherine, and
Fred,
we're going to head on in.
That's remarkable.
We're going to head on into our workroom.
Okay, that sounds good, Fred. But that just was inspiring. It's so great to see the similarities and the differences.
Right. Exactly.
We are entering the largest space in the house, the living room, dining room. And I'm going to just let you take in all the geometric influences in this room for just a moment. I hope this gives you a sense of how dynamic this room is, and how when Wright broke apart the box and created this geometry, that he created these free flowing spaces. There's so much to talk about in this room, but what I'm going to focus on is one of the most complex aspects to the intricate geometry of the house, and that's the roof plan, which was comprised of flat and low sloped sections. The inside ceiling planes mirror the roof lines to create both soaring and very intimate spaces. And the most dramatic ceiling space is when we walk into the master bedroom, and that's where 5 different planes converge in an origami-like folded wood composition. You can imagine the challenges relating to the construction of this. And we know that there were several contractors who said that's super interesting, but no, thank you. So again, what Wright and the Krauses loved: built-in furniture, a desk for the Krauses to work. Wright satisfied their need to have a private lanai off of the master bedroom. And yes, I could not be in this room without sharing this: a parallelogram bed. So, Wright wanted all the pieces to contribute to the whole. So I think you probably would agree anything else just wouldn't work.
Catherine, if I could interrupt real quick, someone was asking about the green pottery throughout the house. Is it McCoy pottery?
Well, actually, that's art pottery. And we have Tico pots and Weller pots and a variety of art pottery. We know that Mr. Wright encouraged his clients to decorate their home with handcrafted items versus mass produced. So we had a exhibit of art pottery, and it was so popular. And the green color, which is a very organic color, natural color, just shows so beautifully against the Tidewater red cypress. So that's this was not items that the Krauses possessed. But thank you for that question. Again, I hope that as we move from the bedroom into this main living room, you're feeling the dynamic flow of space. And the Krauses really love that about the design of their house, that there was this free flow movement from one room to another. So as we look out westward, we see what we call the prow. So the terrace, as you can see, represents, we started out at the motor court. This is sort of the other end of that parallelogram. And as I was setting up, I just realized that we have more circles in this house than we ever admit to, because of all the persimmons that fall this time of year. This house is sited in a persimmon grove. And so part of any docent's responsibility when they get to the house is to make sure that the terrace is swept and ready for visitors to step out. I think what I would like to do, and focusing on a final extraordinary detail of this house, is focused on these stained glass or art glass terrace windows. These were designed by Russell Kraus, who was the original owner. You're not going to find these in other Usonian homes because they're expensive, and that just wasn't common in the design of a Usonian home. But these were designed by Russell Kraus, who was a very well-known and respected liturgical stained glass artist. And as you can see, they represent the colors and the geometries of the house. And I think they really are a beautiful sort of testimonial to our theme today, which is geometry and design. So I'm sure, Fred, that you're going to share some spectacular detail elements with us now. So
Yes. Yeah. Well, we're going from the largest space in the house to probably one of the smaller spaces in the house, Mr. Weltzheimer's workroom. But I wanted to show there is we have we're showing what the extent, what's the perforated wood board design is now, but that was not the original design. And just as Mr. Kraus sort of adapted Wright's design with the stained glass, the Weltzheimers and the apprentice from Taliesin who was helping them with the house did the same thing at the Weltzheimer house. And what we're seeing now is a replica of what the original design for the house would have been. It was very angular, very open. I personally think it resolves a lot of artistic decisions a little bit better than what was finally installed. And the Weltzheimers didn't feel that original design went with the design of the house. And there was a fair amount of correspondence back and forth between Wright and the Weltzheimers and Ted Bauer, to the point that when the building plans were published so they can get going, that design read as an empty box on the plans. What I enjoy about this, and there has been a really learned paper on the perforated wood board design here, is the way you can see the balls on the edge of the roof and how they're reflected in the design of the perforated wood board. I love that the abstract shapes. We've had lots of people in here who see this as a sort of an Islamic or Arabic kind of a design. I understand what they're saying. I see it as a little bit more pastoral, with shapes that were like the above and below trees in full leaf. But whatever it is, it's an abstract design. It's what was always with the house. And we accept it for that. I like the idea that the Weltzheimers had a hand in what it looks like the Mr. Kraus did with his house. And now we're looking down the hallway, the back hallway. We hadn't planned to do as many shots as you had done, Catherine. But what I enjoy about it is that it's a great example of compression and release. When you walk down the hallway, it's narrow, it's low ceiling, and then when you walk in the bedrooms, they just appear to be all that much larger. They have a whole wall of glass, but they really do appear to be all that much larger because of we're going into the master bedroom right now.
I have a quick question for both of you, actually.
Yes.
Are your floors concrete, and do they have radiant heat?
Yes. Oh, go ahead, Fred, please.
I'll start out. Our floors are concrete. It's the original concrete, but unfortunately, the heating system, the hot water pipes that went throughout the concrete no longer function. I have when we give our tours, we have a piece of pipe from the heating element that is full of holes, and I say this is why we don't have the heat. This is why we're closed in the winter.
We're in a similar situation as Fred, in that we do have Cherokee red, of course, concrete floors. We have radiant heat. When we have student tours, we encourage them to take off their shoes, and they love that. We've been fortunate. We had one minor incident that we had to repair, but otherwise, the look and the functionality has been quite good. One of our preservation challenges that we're taking on is the restoration of the concrete on the terrace so we can bring it back to the beautiful Cherokee red that was intended. So your eye really reaches out into the exterior, and yeah, so we'll be working on that in the not too distant future.
And Catherine, can you circle around to the dining table? Someone was wondering if there is a lamp built into it.
That person gets a star for that question because this is called a Taliesin 3 lamp. It's unlike others because it does have the angled wood here, and it's attached at the top, so you actually can fit, you can move the table, and that was Wright's intent. He encouraged his clients to have dinner in front of the fire. So all this furniture can be arranged in different places, but this dining room table is remarkable in that it literally can expand and move, and it is not connected at the base. Hope that answers your question.
That's pretty incredible. And then I'm going to switch this one over to Fred, and although I bet both of you could answer. Do Wright's unconventional geometric designs ever seem to pose challenges for the day-to-day aspects of living in the house?
I'm going to say no. I mean, we're a little bit less obscure geometric. We're a rectangle, and what I enjoy about it is that you get to see. I think it begins to delineate where you do different activities. This what Wright calls a living room is really a multi-purpose communal space, and it has its own little nooks and crannies, so different activities can happen in different places. I don't think that the geometry inhibits it at all. What I do enjoy is, and since we're focused on me, that we've eliminated this corner over here to my right, to your left, that really it's all glass. The ceiling even helps with the chore of trying to find out where the corner is. But what Wright has done is explode the box. He's broken down the box, and I think that this is a really great example of that aspect of Wright's work.
And I would build on what Fred is describing, in that it really, I think, has a lot to do with how the client embraced the geometry. So the Krauses really were on board with this angular, very non-traditional design. If you notice at what you're looking at, you don't see the walls all the way up to the ceiling. You don't see doors. They didn't have a need for that privacy. They did not have children. And they really loved just the flow. So I think that they were on board from the beginning. And some of the challenges that they were presented, I think they just saw as a product of this home that they cherished. So they were on board, but there were definitely some practical issues, both in the construction and in the lived experience. But it was clear that this was their dream house for more than 40 years.
Well, I wish I could say that this became the Weltzheimer dream house, because it didn't. Unfortunately, they moved into it in 1949. At last, we had heard that they were commissioning furniture from Wright in 1953, but by the mid-50s they had separated and then later divorced. And then the early 60s, Mrs. Weltzheimer sold the house, and it passed to a couple of different contractors, and then finally to Ellen Johnson, who was a professor of art and art history at Oberlin College, and she set about restoring it. I think she knew what the house was all about and didn't want to let it go. But what the house during her occupancy was really, it took on its own life. We had pictures and paintings everywhere. We have the remnants of her furniture and a nice mid-century modern sofa. So she's added her own dimension to what we are able to see today.
Well, as we say a lot, every house tells a story. It's been interesting to hear the story of the Weltzheimer Johnson house. Heidi, did you have any other questions for us?
there's a pretty hilarious conversation that's going on about your parallelogram bed. Wondering where in the world do you get sheets and bedding for that?
Well, I think that, this is an unplanned visit, but since that has captured people's imaginations and I'm not surprised, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you the second bedroom. And because of course the master bedroom has a parallelogram certainly this one would be more conventional. It's a hexagon shaped bed in the second bedroom. And yes, again, going back to your question, Heidi, about, what are some of the challenges that that are presented by this innovative geometric design. And the Krauses were, they had to figure it out. Sometimes, they probably thought it was fun and it was kind of fun to get to the bottom of it. But the beds actually had to be made by a company that manufactured hospital beds, and no doubt the sheets all had to be custom designed. Fortunately, the textiles that you're looking at, both the curtains in this room and the bed, are all original. So when we purchased the house and property just about 20 years ago, the furniture was in good condition, and a lot of the original furnishings and furniture was in place. We of course went through an extensive restoration of the house and the Kraus's belongings, but it was where we were very fortunate to have so much of the original items, as well as a lot of history of the building and house.
Thank you for showing us that second bed and for the explanation. Are either of your sites hosting any special programs right now or anything else for the public?
Well, I'll start with that. We, for the protection of our docents and the public, are closed for public tours. We are involved in a lot of programming like this, which provides people a virtual experience. What makes that possible for us to adapt to this new environment is membership. So I just really feel compelled to let everybody know if they're inspired by what they're seeing at the Kraus House, that they might consider joining us as a member, because truly you hear that a lot, that things are made possible by membership, but our ability to adapt to the new environment and to continue to preserve and inspire people with this remarkable property is all due to membership. So maybe some of you out there might be compelled to come on board.
And I will echo that we are closed because of COVID. We're part of Oberlin College, and Oberlin College has taken the protocol of shutting everything down. And this is why I am still standing in the doorway. There's thought that we may not even be open for next year. We'll see how it goes. We're playing it by ear. I think of this as our outreach, that this is one reason why I really wanted to be part of the Wright virtual visits. I think it's important. I think it's important to let people know what we're doing, what we're all about. And I will echo the request for donations. Or for membership. We're a part of Oberlin's Allen Memorial Art Museum, and the web page is there. It's a new web page, so check us out. We have a great presence on their page. So I would invite you to, if you can't visit us in person, visit us by the website.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you, Catherine and Fred, for the absolutely wonderful tour. And for all of you who were here with us today, we'd ask you to tune in again next week, where we will be visiting the Martin House in Buffalo and the Dana Thomas House in Springfield as they explore the theme of Wright's art class. And lastly, if you enjoy Wright virtual visits, you should consider attending the Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy's annual conference, taking place online this year from November 11th through 14th. Taking full advantage of the virtual format, the conference will blend live discussions with video tours of sites around the country and the world. More details will become available at savewright.org when registration opens on September 28th. So thank you again, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.